Good evening. It's 8 o'clock in the United Kingdom. My name is Gary, and this is Golden Nugget Nation Q&A. And I'm so happy that you decided to attend wherever you are in the world and whenever you're actually seeing this. Today, I am inspired to speak to you about a subject that really 2 years ago I would have never, ever have thought about. In episode 14 of Gary's Glorious Golden Nugget Nation, I had the opportunity to interview Ruslan Fasyut. Now, Ruslan is an interesting gentleman. He was a CEO of a brick and mortar company. I mean, when you're talking about CEO, he was at the top of it. And he was also very much involved in cryptocurrency at the time that he was the CEO. But he decided to leave all of that because he wanted to be a psychologist. He went off, received an education from a United States university, became a corporate psychologist, organizational psychologist, and he then went into private practice. And I enjoyed my conversation with him. And I recommend that if you go to it, it's episode 14 of Gary's Glorious Golden Nuggets. Just go back and take a look at Ruslan. Interesting gentleman. But one of the things that he pointed out to me in our conversation was the fact about social responsibility. That as individuals who were entrepreneurs, we actually had a social responsibility to helping the world to become a better place. That making more money was good for us, but it was also an opportunity to provide for the needs of others. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is because in the last 24 hours, I became aware of an individual. As you know, many people know that I'm involved with the Ukrainian effort to defend themselves and to relieve the suffering that is going on in that country. Nobody disputes the fact that the country was attacked and that they are making a heroic and legitimate stand to defend the sovereignty of their country. But where I have put a lot of my effort in is the suffering that's going on with just the individual. I became very aware of an individual yesterday who left their home when rockets and artillery barrages were commonplace in their hometown. 2 months later, they've returned. They've gone into their home, and there's a small child involved. There's a loss of a husband involved. And when they came back, they found out that the declared holiday from paying from rent was not really a release from paying from rent. It was just that you don't have to pay it for until you come back into the property. And you have to make full payment within 48 hours. And they showed up and they only had half the money that was required by the landlord for them to go back into their property. And we had 25 hours to raise the money. It wasn't a lot of money. In British terms, it was £400, and if you use that to dollar standard, it's about £520 that was required. I didn't have the money. I'd already helped her with the first half of the money. I just didn't have enough money for the second half. And so I reached out in social media and I asked people just to contribute whatever you could. Some people gave me 10 pounds. Some people gave me less. They gave me £5. Another person, a glorious angel from Korea, provided 280 pounds. But what I'm trying to say is within 10 hours of myself putting out the request, making it known that there was a need. All the money came from Scotland, came from England, came from Korea. Some money came from Czech Republic. Some money came from South Africa. We have been blessed, all of us together as a group, to provide for the needs of a woman who needed help that would have come from no other source at this moment in time. They have been safeguarded, they have been protected. And this is the benefit of one social media. Let's just be really clear. This would never have happened without social media. And it would never have happened without entrepreneurs feeling a need to provide for the social needs of people they never met, never knew, but they realized it was a legitimate need. There was no time to create a charity. We had less than 25 hours to raise the money, and in 10 hours, the money was raised and it was sent. The landlord has been paid. The debt has been settled. And there's just a little bit extra to help the woman to provide for herself and her child for the next few weeks without asking for any more help, getting a job, getting an employment, getting a paycheck going. We can all feel better because we have taken care of our sister. You know, it's really interesting to me that in the Bible, one of the earliest stories is the story of Cain and Abel. And you remember that Cain, when he was confronted by God, like, your brother's blood is crying up from the ground. Can you tell me about this? Cain says, am I my brother's keeper? And it was Ruslan who, back when I did 2014 in 2021, who brought that to my attention, that we are all our brother's keepers. We are all our sister's keepers. We are here to bless the lives of those who are around us. And that is part of the calling of being an entrepreneur. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the golden nugget tonight. The question I ask you is, are you your brother's keeper? And we all know the answer to that, because that is yes. So what are you doing to help your brother, to help your sister? We have a social responsibility in society. We don't just make money to make money for ourselves. We have a responsibility to aid and assist those who at the moment are incapable of doing so. We seek no reward. We seek no applause. We do it quietly and silently. But in the end, we prove that we are a blessing to other people. And it is through the hands of men that we often act as angels of God. I hope to catch you next week, and that you've had reason to think, that you've been able to ponder on being your brother's keeper, your sister's guardian. Have a great week, and I look forward to talking to you next week during this golden moment of Golden Nugget Nation. Thank you.